narratives, educational and informative topics and issues, intriguing and entertaining, a must listen to. In the Spotlight, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on Q95.
It is a beautiful night in the nature island of the Caribbean, the nature island of the world. Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the In the Spotlight radio show for today, the 17th day of July in the year 2023. Just shouting out a huge happy birthday to my Glory. Happy birthday to you, and I hope that you've had a really, really wonderful day so far, and that you'll continue to enjoy the rest of your day. As we get ready tonight for our program, we have an amazing young man as our guest, and I'm sure there is so much to learn about him. But before that, let's just big up Q95 FM and Mr. Sheridan Gregoire showing and the team for always making us so very comfortable here on a Monday night. We thank Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited. They provide us with Swapiton water to quench our thirst when we take that break from talking for a couple of hours. So thank you so much to Josephine Gabriel and the Company Limited. We say goodnight as well to the Great Old House. Let's hope, I haven't touched base with them as yet, but let's hope we're going to have some dinner tonight for the lovely cricketer here in studios with us. So we'll touch base, I hope, before the night is over. They normally provide me and my guests with dinner, packaged dinner, but it's beautiful, delicious dinner. So let's hope that, they're tuned in and locked in, and we'll send a message and say, we're open tonight. So we should be ready to go with that. Everyone else who supports us in whatever way, please follow our In the Spotlight radio and the TV shows page. Become a part of our group Spotlighters by the In the Spotlight radio show. Just search for that and follow and like, and go on the page and participate and engage with us and have some fun with us as well. You know what this program is all about? It's all about the stories of our people. And every Monday night I come here with a guest, and I hear the story. I mean, it's always something fresh, it's always something new, it's always something exciting, something motivating, something inspiring, and that is why this program is so loved and appreciated by so many. If you love and appreciate this program, give us some hearts on the live right here tonight. In case you're listening for the first time and you're wondering who is this lady there on the program, my name is Fidina Frampton. I've been doing this particular show for 10 years. We celebrated our 10th anniversary on May 13th, 2023. And, it's been quite a journey. Sometimes we're able to be here, sometimes we're not able to be here. But in all of this, we've done over 260 shows. So to me, I think that is an amazing milestone. So wherever you are tonight, tuned in and locked into the program, especially the folks in the Kalinaga territory, and you must be very proud of the guest here tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're locked in via Q95, you're on the Facebook Live, wherever you are tuned in tonight, we are very, very happy to have you. Our guest is Kavem Hodge, and Kavem Hodge is a Dominican, and he is a member of the West Indies cricket team. I know some of us are not very happy with them at the moment, but they're still our team, and we have to continue to rally around the West Indies and rally around people like Kavem Hodge so that he can join others to make the West Indies team, what they used to be in the great old glory days. Let us say good evening to our guest, Kavem. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Fidina. How are you?
I am well. And how about you?
I'm doing well.
How much of that smile are we going to get tonight?
It depends.
That infectious smile that you have, that everybody seems to notice. It seems to be a staple. It seems to be something that people recognize you for. So welcome, and an opportunity for you to say hello to everyone who is tuned in, and if there's anyone in particular that you want to shout out.
I just want to say welcome to everybody. I know everyone has a busy schedule throughout the day, so whoever turns on the live is always welcome. I just want to thank everybody for the support, and I hope that everybody can enjoy this show, get some insight into my life. Like I always say, it's one thing to be on the field, but to get the opportunity to know someone personally, it's always good. So I want to thank everybody for hopping on the live and enjoy the show.
And that is what this show is about. It's about getting to know the person much better, their story, their successes, their challenges, their struggles, their motivations. That is what it is really all about. And we're hoping that we can dig a little deep, not too deep, into Kavem tonight. But we definitely want to get to know you so much better. I like that you're wearing a pink shirt. Confident man wear pink. So, are you a confident man?
I am.
You are. Okay. Do you like other pastel colors, like light, soft yellows and that kind of thing?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, Kavem. First of all, I didn't ask. Do you have a nickname?
Not really.
Really? Nobody ever gave you a nickname?
The thing is, my name is already that difficult, to pronounce. So, most of my friends just call me Hodge. Yeah, Kavem. Just, a little piece of my entire name, Hodge.
Okay, Hodge. So
but recently, a lot of people have been calling me, Mango Boy, Mango Man.
Why?
Because I love mango.
Oh,
yeah.
So you see, I knew something would pop up from somewhere.
Yeah.
So it could be Cav, it could be Hodge. I like Hodge actually.
Yeah, a lot of
Yes.
my colleagues call me Hodge. So let's go with that.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
You are a Dominican, so we know that.
Yeah.
Where from Dominica are you from?
I'm from a little village called Antwizo. A lot of Dominicans do not know where Antwizo is. It's actually on the East Coast, so it's close to Atkinson. A majority of individuals know Atkinson. There's a primary school there, they have a center, and then you have back. So Antwizo is not a part of the Caribbean Reserve.
It is not.
No, it's not. Actually, I'm from Atkinson back down to Antwizo. It's not considered part of the Caribbean Reserve.
Well, I know about Atkinson, but I wasn't aware for...
Yeah, Antwizo is after Atkinson. So,
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so at the end you have Antwizel, then Atkinson, and then you have Caribbean Stars.
Okay, so that leads me to ask you, so are you Carinago?
I probably am. It's probably in my blood. My grandmother was Caribbean, so I mean, my hair is a little bit curly, so
a little bit curly and a little bit otherwise.
Yeah. So there's something there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Antwizel, you said, is almost part of Atkinson.
Yeah.
On the east of the island.
That's right.
Right, and that is where you're from.
Yeah.
That is where you grew up.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously, when we're getting to know someone on this program, it is always important to us to know their heritage. And so their family roots.
Right.
So you said grandma, it could have come from grandma.
Yeah.
So we must talk about the roots.
Yeah.
Tell me about your roots in Antwizel and if there's roots stemming from anywhere else.
Okay, so my grandparents, well, my grandmother, granddad, Laville, the surname is Laville. My dad is a Hodge. My dad is from Maho area, yeah, so around there. So he's a Hodge, but the rest of my family is Laville.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's mom. Mom is the one who is from the Antwizel area.
Yeah.
All right. So let us talk about mom. You know, I love getting to know the parents because getting to know the parents always gives you a sense of the child. To some extent.
Yeah.
You know. And the things they taught you as a child, that kind of thing, gives us a sense, the audience, a sense of the individual that we're speaking to, and also of the persons who brought you up. If that is the case, we learn that as well. So let us talk about the Antwizel end and mom.
Okay. Well, Antwizel is a very small village. Everybody knows everybody, so it's a very tight knit. Everybody looks out for one another. Basically the village. Help grow you. My mom is very loving, soft. She likes to laugh. I think I got that from her. Yeah, she always up for a good laugh. But she was very strict in terms of discipline. Not over the board, but obviously me as a young boy growing up, there's certain things that she would expect of me, and trying to grow me up in the right way. And
did she achieve that, Kavem?
Yeah, I would want to think so. Everything that I do, obviously, I think is a reflection of the people that I grew up with. So I was trying to keep in that vein.
What's the name?
Miranda. Her name is Miranda. Okay. Yeah. And but yeah, I think respect is one of the major things. Having respect for others and for myself. The way I carry myself, the way I speak to other people. That was a major thing. Because growing up, I was mischievous. I was very mischievous because I grew up with my mom, my grandmother, my sister, my grandfather, and my uncle used to go and come. He used to live in Antigua. So
tell me about the mischief.
I would just find mischievous things. So if they went out, I was home. We used to have this table where we have all the toothbrush and all the amenities right there. I used to tie a string around the entire thing. All the toothbrush, everything, and tie it to the next side would go. And as they come through, everything would just go flying across the room. I still do it to this day when I'm on tour with the guys, but that's a different story. But anyway.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I still always find some mischievous,
kind of good mischief.
Yeah. Just
with good intentions.
Yeah,
just
good,
for a little laugh, a little something.
Right, good banter.
Okay.
So if my uncle was asleep, I would, take cream and put it in his hand, and then go outside for a piece of grass, and then tickle his nose, and then he would slap. So there was this one time I do that, and he chased me around the house. He couldn't catch me. He go into my room and take all my clothes and wipe on his face. So it was so funny. But yeah, I mean, that's the kind of person I was. Always up for a good laugh. Just recently, I went up the country to visit them, and so my uncle was sleeping as usual. So I wrapped up a piece of
paper. Let's say hello to Uncle. Uncle, who is it?
Liquid.
Uncle Liquid. Good evening to you, Uncle Liquid. I hope you're tuned in.
So I wrapped up a piece of paper, and my grandmother was sitting right there. She did not say anything. She sit and she looked at me do this whole thing. So I wrap it and I put it in his mouth, and I take a light and I light the paper. And he jump over and everybody just throwing smoke everywhere. And she was just there laughing. She did not once wake me up or stop me.
Wasn't that dangerous?
Nah, he was fine.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I do. But I think of myself as, I bring entertainment to the family. I give everybody laughing, everybody smiling. Once I'm around, there's never a dull moment. So, that's the kind of family I grew up in. Very loving. We don't really, there's not much shouting and that kind of thing involved in our family. Everybody just easygoing and it's something that I've come to realize, the older I got, and everybody's just calm, easygoing and loving and, stuff like that.
So you enjoy pranking your family?
I do.
And now you do it to your colleagues?
That's right.
That's right. Oh my goodness. What is one of the things you've done to them outside of similar to what you've done to your uncle?
Let's see. Oh boy,
you have to think of what
there's a whole list of stuff.
Oh my God.
I'd rather not say it.
Okay, we'll leave that alone. Probably later on you might think of something and come back and share with us, right? So yes, so you said that mom taught you respect.
Yeah.
You think that your warm personality comes from her.
Yeah.
And you love and admire her.
Yeah.
Where is mom now?
She's in England actually. She's married. She's married and she lives in England.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you would have mostly spent time with that part of your family.
Yeah.
Now I have to ask you about your dad now.
Yeah.
Now I know your dad.
Yeah.
I've met your dad,
Right.
and he said to me, if we always talk about you a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I will tell you, how I knew about you. I remember one day I was driving down Citroën area, and he was standing by I think it might have been a Sunday. He was standing by the side of the road, waiting. I guess they tried to catch a ride.
Right.
And I gave him a ride, and then he told me he was going to watch his son play.
Right.
And then he told me who his son was.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time I heard about you, Mr. Kavem Hodge, was when your dad mentioned, that day I gave you the lift and so on. So tell me about your dad now. Because I didn't hear much of him, in terms of, you said you grew up with your
Right.
mom, your grandmother, your uncle, and your sister.
Right.
By the way, how is your sister?
She's doing good.
She's good. Is
Yeah.
she in Dominica?
No, she lives in Antigua.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good evening, sister. Yes.
Right. So the situation between my dad and I goes back a long way in terms of the history that we have.
Right.
Not so long history.
Right.
So I got to know my dad when I turned 16.
16.
Yeah, I turned 16.
And you're what now, if you don't mind?
30.
You're 30.
Yeah.
All right.
So apparently he left when I was 3. He was living in Antigua all the time, and I never met him, never heard his voice, whatever the case is. But a lot of the people that were in my circle, in terms of like my coaches and the people that around me in terms of cricket, they knew him,
Okay.
but they didn't know he was my dad.
Your father. Okay.
So I think there was a situation. One of my coaches went to Antigua, and they probably met up with him, and my name came up. So my coach, that's Thomas Kentish, he gave my father my number. So one day, this number calls me. Mind you, this is the first time I'm hearing his voice.
First time you're hearing his voice.
After 16 years.
16 years.
Yeah, first time. And so he said, hi Kavem, this is your dad. Whatever. I can't remember exactly.
It's
but
okay, and you don't need to remember the conversation verbatim.
But he said that he's coming back to Dominica, and he would like to meet someone or the kids. I said, fine. I have a game at the Gardens, and we could meet there. So the time came, I had the game at the Gardens. So here am I sitting, padded up, waiting to bat, and then I see, this gentleman walk past. He had a blue shirt.
You remember the shirt?
Oh yeah, I remember it. He had a blue shirt, a track pants, as a Caribbean shirt, a track pants, and a white sneakers. Walk past. Man, I don't know who I'm looking at. I just see the person walk past.
Right.
But like I said, the people in my circle knew him because they grew up in the same area in town. So at that moment,
and we'll talk about the people in your circle as the program unfolds. The people we referenced in here.
We went to the manager of the team. The manager knew him. So the manager was like, hey, Al, his name is Alexander. Hodge, so they call him Al. He's like, what are you doing in Dominica, this and that? So he said, well, he moved back to Dominica and stuff. And so they asked him what he doing here at the gardens. So he say he come and look at his son.
Oh.
So I don't forget about, I was looking at the game. So when the man said that, I just paused. I just looked at him, sized him up and down. And then continued looking at the game. So then now, the manager start on him. He's like, Kavem, because they know that I don't know my dad.
Okay.
So they start on him. Kavem, you mean to tell me Kavem is your son? All these years you have this son and you never. They start the game. And then
you got some pressure.
Yeah, so after they say, anyways, look Kavem sit over there. This man will pass him straight.
He passed you straight?
No, he never see me.
Oh my. But he should have been able to at least recognize you, I would want to think.
So he managed to, anyway, look Kavem sit over there. So he come back. And then we went into the dressing room, and so it's like he was trying to explain himself, why he hasn't been involved in my life for the past 16 years. He's trying to explain it, but he couldn't find the words. It was emotional for him.
Yeah.
It wasn't emotional.
What was it like for you though?
No, it was a little bit weird because mind you, this is a complete stranger.
Yes, to you. Mm-hmm.
So he's there, all emotional, and I'm just there. I don't know how to act.
It's almost like, oh my God, when is this going to end? Time to end. I need to go back.
Right. So it was a little weird, and he tried to explain, and then that was that, and then the game continued. So after that, we slowly tried to. It wasn't the same because for 16 years, you don't establish yourself as a person. And so I stayed with him for a bit, while I college. So the relationship grew and grew a bit. Obviously, there was a lot of feedback from many people. Some said, man, you keep running away because you're playing cricket now.
Yeah, so
you try to come back into your life.
Right.
So the decision was mine to make. What am I going to, how I'm going to approach this? But obviously, I just decided that, hey, you helped bring me onto this earth. I here where I am today, regardless of, him not being in my life. So I'm not gonna run him or whatever. Like, if you want to be part of my life, fine. I'm still gonna continue on my path. If you want to tag along, so be. So yeah, he's been making a conscious effort to be part of my life, and here we are today. So
I'm inclined to ask, do you feel within yourself that there was something to forgive, and were you asked to forgive?
I don't think if he directly asked, but you could see through his actions, and he was really trying very hard, to be a part of my life. They say actions speak louder than words.
Yes.
So he never really verbally said, forgive me, but he's making the conscious effort, even if it's to turn up at games, which was weird for me. Because every time I turn up to game, I'm like, I do my thing. Now having somebody in the stands there and coming and check you after the game, it was a little weird at first, but you get accustomed to it after. So I have forgiven him. Yeah. I don't know the reasons why. Up to this day, I don't know why, because he was living just in Antigua all these years. I have a lot of aunties and uncles in Antigua, a lot. And they knew him. They always keep telling him, "Why you checking for your son?" So, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And you're moving on.
Yeah.
And you're making the best of what the situation is now.
Yeah,
in terms of having him in your life.
Right. I always tell people, listen, everything happens the way it's supposed to. Who knows? If he was involved in my life, I probably might not have taken the path that I am on now. I probably might, be more comfortable and doing something else. But obviously, the path that I, was, it forced me to be focused and, mentally strong. So yeah.
Good job, Kavem. You're very mature. I think you're still very mature in terms of the way that you handled that situation, because I'm sure people will put it in your mind, as you mentioned, your dad is trying to come back into your life because you're beginning to make something of yourself
Right.
in the sport of cricket. A sport that we Caribbean people we love, no matter what West Indies is doing to us, you know.
Right.
But we love our sport. So, you know, people, you could have said, you know what, no, right?
Yeah.
Let me be.
Mind you, I was very tempted to that because at first, you know, I was mad. Like, you know, I always say I was mad. Like, no.
Hurts? Were you hurt?
I wouldn't say it hurt. Because I mean, as much as I feel like I felt like I missed out on saying dad or having dad, you know, in the early part of my life. I wasn't really hurt. More like disappointed. You know, like why? You know, that's always the question. Why? You know, what is your reason? You know, and I don't know if I can say this one, but yeah, obviously my mom would always have you know, her piece to say, her feedback. So I think a lot of the, you know, the direction I'm going in terms of forgiving, it came from my mom. Obviously, you know, when she was pregnant with me, he left. And then obviously he was there for a while. When I was born, he left. And, you know, even when I speak about him or, you know, the interaction, she don't get mad or anything like that, you know. She just always say, you know, I hope you make it up for, you know. And it's never a situation where it's toxic, you know, she throwing things at me. She just, you know, a place of, like I said, calm, and, you know, and she's like, oh, you know, I hope he's. And there was one thing she said, what was the interaction between my dad? But, you know, I told her about it. And then she was like, what is it? She said, since I was born, all he gave was,
if you're not comfortable saying it, leave it alone.
No. Yeah, but it's interesting, and you know, it really made me sit and think, like, you know, what was the reasoning, you know? But
I hope one day that we still get the answer to that. Do you still want the answer?
Listen, I think I know the answer, right?
Okay.
I think I know the answer.
But would you want to hear it from him?
I don't think it would probably make a much of a difference right now. Yeah,
Okay.
because I have other siblings that I have not met yet. Yeah.
Really?
One is in Guadeloupe. I have another sister in Antigua. I met her like a couple of years ago. She's 24 now. Yeah. I think I have two brothers in Dominica. So yeah, I'm slowly.
Have you met the two in Dominica?
Yeah, I think I have met both of them, you know. Yeah. Or just one. But
Is it a situation, Kavem, where you would love to be able to meet all of your siblings and to build some kind of relationship with them, at least on that side of the family?
It would be nice. I have you know, build some kind of relationship with them, but it's always different when you're just talking over the phone. You know, my sister in Guadeloupe, I've spoken to her.
You need to go to Guadeloupe.
I do. I've spoken to her over the phone and stuff. You know, we've you know, had calls and stuff, but it's a bit different, you know, when you haven't met the person. So, but you know, it's progress nonetheless.
Okay, and your other sister on your mom's side?
Yes, we basically grew up together. You know, she helped grow me and stuff like that. So we're very.
She's older?
Yeah, she's older than me.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, so we're very, very close. Yeah.
All right. If mom is listening now in England, what would you like to say to her?
I just want to thank her for being so strong. Lord knows it's difficult to rear a young boy fatherless on your own. You know, it must have been very difficult. But you know, she did what she could with what she had, and you know, she really paved the way for me. And I think the direction I want my life to go would be a reflection of how she has, you know, grown me. So I'm happy for all that she's done for me. You know, she's very strong mentally, emotionally, physically. Like I said, she paved the way for me. She used to bring me on the beach. We used to go on the beach and play cricket. So yeah, she's the one who always, you know, kept me interested and, you know, kept me in a certain vibe. So yeah, I'm thankful for her.
So she got you involved in sports too?
Yeah. We used to go on the beach because we live close to the beach. We used to go on the beach and play cricket and stuff like that. So yeah.
What about grandma? Is grandma still alive?
Yeah, she is. She's actually visiting her children in the US. So she said she's ready to come home.
She's ready to come
Yeah,
home.
I think she missed me. Well, anyways, that's a different
So
story.
I was about to ask, what about grandma's influence on you?
I think is that level of respect. She's so quiet and easygoing and loving, and and I think that has helped me in how I deal with people, on a whole. I'm very, I'm a very easy person to talk to. I'm very open, and I think that's a lot to do with her. She's a very nice person. Always, you're still disciplined. If you're strange, she might, put you back on track. But other than that, just.
Well, since grandma used to watch you and have you not stop you when you were up to mischief, I suspect grandma spoiled you a little bit.
Yeah, I think she, like I said, I'm the one who gives, I think I'm the life of the family in terms of the mischievous and keeping everybody laughing. And who don't like a good laugh? I always talk your stupidness, she always kiki. So yeah, it's a good vibe.
So generally speaking, Kavem, what was it like growing up in Antwizel?
It was peaceful. You all Antwizel is like an hour drive from town, hour and 15 minutes drive. So it's the real country life. Like I said, I grew up near the beach, forestry all around. We had like five mango trees in our yard, coconut trees. So it was just tranquil for me, and I think it has a lot to do with it has reflected a lot on the kind of person I am today. I'm very easygoing. I like nature. I still love the beach. I love peace and quiet. I wasn't really part of the party life growing up as a young boy. I think I really went to party like that growing up, because like I said, the town is an hour away, and you're not gonna be in town all the time. So. Even when I went to university, it took me a while to start to go to parties. One of my best friends, he's a Jamaican, and every time there was a party, he used to come and try and get me to go, and it took me a long while
to adjust
to go to parties,
That's what I mean, to adjust to going out and
yeah, because I'm a home person. On a Friday night I'll be home, just chilling. My grandmother, my mom, and I was okay with that.
And you were content with that?
Yeah, that was peace for me. Just quiet, simple country life. That was fine for me, because I wasn't exposed to town life and all that. That's what I knew, and it had a lot. It still reflects on the kind of person that I am today. So as much as I travel a lot now, I'll probably go to a party here or there, like a paint and powder, juvia. I do enjoy a good time, but I always revert back to what I love, what I know, and what I'm comfortable with, but my soul wants, peace, quiet, and tranquility.
How important is that to you?
That is very important to me. I pay a lot of attention to that. Obviously being a professional athlete, it takes a lot of you, not only physically and emotionally, but mentally. When you're always trying, it's always important to sometimes pull back and allow yourself to just relax and let yourself know, hey, you're doing enough, you're doing okay, there's no need to, bring the weight of the world on yourself, So I do a lot of, just meditation, relaxation, spending time by myself and stuff like that. I think that's very important. I enjoy, downtime, solace. And I think that because I'm able to do that, when I'm in a crowd or among people, hey, nobody laughing, smiling more than me. When I'm among people, I will open up. I love to be around people. But when I'm by myself, I enjoy being by myself. So I believe there's a balance in everything. That is important, because there's no point me cannot be by myself, and I just want to be among people. And then when I'm by myself, I don't know what to do. I go in bad mode. When I'm by myself, I enjoy it. I find a good book to read, do something, and just relax.
I remember when you visited me at my office and we took a photo, myself and Francine, and I posted that photo on social media.
Yeah.
I remember a few of the words that we used to describe you. People said you were humble. People described you as being warm. People described you as being very friendly. and of course the smile. These were some of the things that people. These were some of the words and phrases that persons used to describe you. The humility. What does it mean to you to hear that people, when people speak of you, they speak of you as being a very humble young man? And where do you think that comes from?
Look, I think it is not something that I definitely had to try hard to achieve. I think it is a lot more to do with my circumstances. Growing up has allowed me to remain that way. I do consider myself coming from humble beginnings. We've all had struggles, and I've had struggles on my end. So I think that has paved the way for me to say, even if I've achieved certain things, never forget where you come from and what has allowed you to go in that direction. Because I always say, who knows? If my early life was much different, I probably would have strayed. At the moment things got difficult, I would probably given up and just gone a different direction. But obviously, how I grew up, from humble beginnings, it has allowed me to, to remain this way, no matter what is it that I've achieved, and treat people, treat everybody like human beings. Because I know.
That's important.
I also find myself. I always have a soft spot for someone in need, because I know what it is to be in need. I've been in that situation, and so I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so warm and friendly, and treat people the same way, no matter who it is or what it is. I think there was a situation the other day. Someone messaged on Instagram, and then I replied. And the person was like, "Oh my God, I never expect you to reply." So I say, "Why?" Because they say, I thought you'd probably be busy. I said, no matter how busy I am, I would still find time to go through my messages and reply, because I'm not God or whatever the case is. I'm a human being like everybody else, and I treat everybody the same way, regardless who they are.
That is important, and I think that people who are listening to the program are applauding you and giving you a couple of thumbs up for that. I'm sure they are, because it is always important to remember where you come from, to remain humble no matter how popular you get or how much of a celebrity you become. Allowing it to go to your head probably should not be the first course of action. And always remember, I was there one day, even if I'm here now. And the thing about it, Kavem, is that you're just starting to get great. You know that there is a lot to come for you, and I think people, we know that. We know that Kavem is just starting to touch the surface of what is to come. And I think what we would love, Kavem, is for you to remain as you are. People love you as you are, and with the level of humility that you currently embrace. And if you can do that for us, I think we would appreciate you even more. So that was part of growing up. What else do you remember distinctly about the community that you grew up, and what it was like there?
So like I said earlier, everybody knows everybody. There's no strangers in the community. So my teachers, I would probably see them on a daily basis. If I'm just walking through the village, I would always have a cricket ball in my hand. I always have a bat, hitting stone or something like that. So, it was just a very comfortable place to grow up. There was no crime or anything like that. You were just the entire village was just your family, your home, your niche. So it was a good place to grow up.
So you would have gone to what school and where? Was there an Antrizal primary school?
No, it's the Atkinson. The primary school is in Atkinson. So it was just a village, not a village. It was right there. I just walked.
You walked to school?
Yeah, it was walking.
What was the distance like?
I can't tell you the exact distance, but it's probably like a
Give me a range.
A 5-10 minute walk.
A 5-10 minute walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would walk to school, walk back for lunch, or I
Yeah.
know back then, at some point school was
Yeah, it was. It was.
Nine.
It's close enough to. It's close enough to walk back for lunch. Sometimes you get lunch somewhere else, or sometimes you go. So, but most of the time you walk home for lunch and then walk back home.
Okay, so that was primary school.
Yes.
And what was primary school like for you?
Primary school was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I used to just play play cricket, climb trees, and just run around during recess. We go back in class sweaty. It was good fun. It was It was. It was a place for children to beat children. It wasn't just a concrete jungle where you just have classrooms, and it was there was trees. They had people.
They had to play.
They had a big field. It had a big cricket field and a basketball court. So we were blessed to have that environment to grow up and play, and not just in the classroom but out of the classroom. So and in the heart of the village. So everything was right there.
Who are some of the friends you remember, and who was your favorite teacher? Did you have a favorite teacher?
Oh boy.
Yes, we all have a favorite teacher.
I have, to be honest,
you have a couple?
I have a lot of favorite teachers. I don't know. I think it was just me. One of my favorite. Well, I think I spent a lot of time, obviously, in the class was Miss Vernis. Miss Muta as well, Muta Matthew.
I think that's a name I heard during elections, the election time.
Right,
Yes.
Yeah. Miss Sandra Bruno, Miss Alice. She's the principal. Alice Lara. So all of them, they had a part to play in
shaping.
Yes. That's right. Yeah. I remember they always pulled my ears because I was always talkative in class.
Oh, Jesus, I'm surprised. If you were mischievous, then you were talking to you.
Yes. I used to always get a pull ears. But yeah.
And your friends? Who are some of the friends?
So basically in primary school I had 2 friends. Well, at least 2. And then it grew as time went by. So I had that one guy called Dylan and another one called Dylan. And then there was Raikel, and then Elrado, Ducre. So I had a good amount of friends. Obviously, we all played cricket, so we just had a big group of guys just playing cricket. Going to class, recess time, playing cricket again. So, we all formed a bond through sports.
And we're hearing a lot about cricket, and we'll come to the cricket conversation in a while, and how it all began, and when the bug stung you, whatever the case is. So from Atkinson Primary School,
I went to St. Andrews High.
St. Andrews High.
Yeah. Initially, I applied to go to Castlebrooke Secondary, but they didn't have space there for me. So
is that where you would have preferred to go to?
At the time, it felt like the place that I wanted to go,
okay.
But that didn't work out, and I got space at St. Andrews High, and I'm happy the way that it played out, because St. Andrews turned out to be a very competitive place in terms of sports. They took it really serious. The environment was really good for athletes and stuff like that, and I really thrived in that school. And then at some point during the school year, they closed down, and then they combined St. Andrews High and Margaret Secondary into the school now known as Northeast Comprehensive. So from 3rd form, I would have gone into Northeast Comprehensive, and obviously I joined in for another school. So it's even more competition and more sports, and it was really good. I really enjoyed my time there.
I hope Mrs. Rivera is listening.
Yes.
My former teacher as well. She taught me at grammar school.
Yeah.
She really wanted to ensure that you mentioned
it's a lovely school. The facility, it was brand new. We entered there, so the facility was really good. But I really enjoyed my time there. All the teachers were just welcoming, and I think I get along well with the teachers because it's just probably me, my personality. I'm good with everybody. I'm always good to crack a joke, and I don't judge anybody like that. I don't like that teacher. I don't like that teacher. It's just cool with everybody. One of my favorite teachers at Northeast Company is Danny James. He is now the principal of Northeast Comprehensive. So there was a very funny story when I was in third form. Yeah. I was 15, I think, and I got Sportsman of the Year in Dominica. And one of the prizes was a knife for two at 40.
Oh, Jesus.
So, yes, one of the prizes was a knife for two at 40. But, 15 years old, I don't know what to go with.
15 years, a night for two at fortune.
Yeah.
You mean a room or dinner?
A knife for two.
At 15 years?
Yeah.
So, no, not allowed.
So what I did, I turned up to school and I gave it to him. He was our form teacher, Danny James. I gave it to him and he go and enjoy ceremony.
That was nice.
Right? So and today he is the principal of office, so he's been there a while and he has a very distinct voice, very loud. He doesn't assembly time he would go to the top the assembly area and he would speak without a mic. His voice is deep loud.
It's carried.
Yeah. So I mean, we're cool up to this. Every time I come to Dominica, I check him, and we're very good. So, yeah.
Northeast Comprehensive. Okay, Mrs. Rivera, my former teacher as well. There you go. You got your plug in there. So Kavem, we're going to move on to when you were done at Northeast Comprehensive. What was the next move?
So I got a scholarship through the Cricket Association to go to Dominica State College.
Dominica State College.
Yeah. So, I mean, these are one of the reasons why I'm thankful for cricket. Because if it wasn't for the that avenue, I wouldn't have been able to afford to go to college and stuff like that. So that's why I always try my best to, no matter if things might seem tough or difficult, I always stick at it because it has done so much for me. It's only fair that I continue to pursue. Right, so I got a scholarship to go to Dominica State College. I started to do economics. Right, I studied economics. But I was traveling. I started to play cricket for Dominica and the Windward Islands, under 19 and stuff. So I started to travel a lot, and it was difficult to turn up to class, do assignments and traveling all the time, at such a young age. So it was a struggle for me. So at the time, the president of the association, he reached out to the individuals at Kavem because they have a sports scholarship program going on. But what would normally happen is the coach he would go around the Caribbean and identify talent, and then they would give them a scholarship, and then bring them back to Kavem to pursue the degree. But obviously, in my situation now, there's people at the association, vouch on my behalf. It's like, hey, we have this decent cricketer here, who wants to pursue a degree, can you sort him out? So, they went out on a limb without probably seeing me play, and they accepted me, and the rest is history. I really enjoyed my time at UE. I captained.
How many years?
I lived in Barbados for 7 years. Yeah, so a lot of people who know me personally know that Barbados is probably my second home.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, did you go to UE for 7 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when it started,
is it the way the program is designed?
Right. So when I went to Barbados, the degree was now in its infant stage. It was now started on. They now put everything together. So to start the degree, I had to do the certificate first. So that took 2 years.
Okay.
And then to do that, I had to have math and English. But I failed math.
That's okay.
At CXC.
Many of us love it.
Right, so I failed math at CXC here in Dominica. So what they did, they paid for my tutoring and everything at Kavem. And
Who paid for it?
And
Kavem?
Yeah.
You?
The sports academy, yeah.
Okay.
They paid for tutoring and stuff, and I did CXC for math in Barbados.
Okay.
I passed.
All right.
And then I started the program. So, yeah.
Don't feel no way about math.
Yeah.
Not friends with too
Yeah, so...
And you did a degree in what?
Kinesiology.
Tell us what that is.
It's just a fancy word for sports.
It's just a fancy word for what?
For sports science, basically studying the body and the way it works, the anatomy, physiology, nutrition, and stuff like that, So it's a field that I really enjoy. Obviously a lot of it I could have directly related to, my cricket and my training. So I probably learned something in the classroom in terms of diet or training or physiology, anatomy, and then when I could probably, put it into my training how I see fit. So it was very interesting, and I really enjoyed my time at UE. I think. I always say it's a place I would encourage anybody to go to. It helps you grow as a person. Living on your own in a new environment. It does help you grow as a person, and the connections that you make. People that I went to school with. They're ministers now. Some might be future prime ministers. So that's one of the beauties of
international cricketers like you.
That's one of the beauties of you. The alumni that you get connected to is always good.
Okay. We have to go back now, Kavem.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break. Allow you to have a sip of your 12-liter water. Check your phone quickly, I presume. And then we're going to come back. And let us talk about where it all began in terms of cricket, which is going to take us back as well to some of the other areas that we touched on already, because it's all part of the journey and of the story. This is the In the Spotlight radio show. Our guest tonight is Kavem Hodge, and quite a nice story so far coming from this young man. We thank you for tuning in and for choosing us during tonight's program. We're coming right back right after this. Thank you again, and keep it locked. So.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every morning night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of legal life, spotlighting the triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of all legal and politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know farmers and public servants, youth, and the ordinary people. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight. One-on-one with interesting personalities, educational and informative topics and issues, intriguing and entertaining, a must listen to. In the Spotlight, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on Q95.
Just bring him down just a little lower. Interesting personalities, educational and informative topics and issues, intriguing and entertaining, a must listen to. In the Spotlight, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on Q95. 9:06, the time in the studios here at Q95, and we are back with our guest, Kavem Hodge. So I did a little research. I know what cricket is, but I just did something, and it says cricket is the game of bat and ball where two teams of 11 players play against each other. In the center of the cricket field is a rectangular area that is 22 yards or 20.12 meters in length and 10 feet or 3.5 meters in width. There are three formats in international cricket: test matches, one-day internationals, and the T20. Just a little something there, as we continue with our conversation with Kavem. So Kavem, before the break, we decided that upon our return, we would talk about where it all began for you. We heard a little something about mom bringing you on the beach. We heard about in school, there was a cricket field and all of that. But when do you remember lifting your first bats or your first ball, and what led you to it?
I think I got my first cricket ball. So I think after my mom married, we moved out of my grandmother's house and we went lower in the village. And we made friends with this guy. He had like gears and stuff we used to play. So he promised me he would bring me a cricket ball, and I sat outside for the entire evening. I just
waiting.
Because I love cricket, but I never had a ball or anything like that. I was like sat outside and I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait. I remember his name. His name is Vivian.
I hope he came.
Yeah, he came. I sat and I wait and I wait, darkness. And then, he come and he bring me the ball. And I sleep with the ball kind of thing. It felt so big because my hand is still small, but it was so big, and yeah, I was playing with it and stuff. In terms of bat, I used to have a piece of stick. Where we were staying, a truck one day came and dumped a big load of gravel. And I used to just take gravel and just hit. All it just hit. I don't think, nobody complains. I just kept on doing it, So, yeah, that's how I started. And then I started playing for the under 13 for primary school.
But where did the interest come from? Was there an interest? Was there someone you saw playing? What was the motivation? What was the inspiration? Do you remember?
For me to tell you the exact moment, I would be lying, because it just happened. Like it just opened up. It just blossomed just like that. Like it was just always there. I think my grandfather used to play cricket, so that was the only person in my family that used to play cricket, like hardball cricket.
So just regular cricket.
Yeah.
Nothing competitive or any.
No, not like village cricket and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was it. But yeah, like I said, it just happened. Like it just blossomed into that. I can't pinpoint when I just woke up and was like, I love cricket. No.
And I want to play cricket.
Yeah, it just happened just like that. Just naturally.
Yeah, just naturally.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then you said you started. You started late for school, I guess, in school?
Yeah, so they had this thing called the Under 13. So, coaches would go around to all the primary schools and identify talent. So they used to do it by zones. Okay. So I was part of the East Zone. So that was like at Kingston Primary, Sally Bips, Primary, Curtis Rivers, Siniku, all these schools. We pick players from all the schools to make one team. And, I was selected for that. And we played for the under 13 up against the other zones and stuff. And then after that competition, they would select players to train to represent Dominica at the under 13. I didn't make it the first time because I was short. I was just blocked. But as time went by, I made that. I made that team. And then the same thing happened for the under 15 and under 19s and stuff like that. So. It was a gradual progression, and it's just the love of the sport that just kept going on to the different levels, and just kept enjoying it. So yeah.
Okay, so it just developed. You grew personally in terms of the sport, in terms of loving the sport. What did you do as a young player? Who did you learn from? Who did you watch? Who inspired you? Who made you feel like, boy, I really want to make something out of this?
So early up, the time I was in primary school, we didn't have TV, so it was pretty difficult to watch people and try to emulate. So I just did my own thing. There was not really someone that I could pinpoint and say I want to be like this person. As I got older, you start to watch more cricket. Obviously, I was a big fan of Sachin Tendulkar, who was an Indian cricketer. So I was a big fan of him, and he shot like me. He just loves to bat, and he loved the longevity of the game and stuff like that. So I think I emulated more of his personality and attitude towards cricket, rather than his technique and stuff like that. Just respecting the game, loving the game, and putting your all into training and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically what it was centered around. But obviously, as time went by, you start to see more people play. The Brian Laras and the Michael Clarks of Australia and stuff like that. You get to see more world cricket. So then that's where the motivation came again, and you want to be like these guys. But yeah, as time went by, then you get to see them, and then the motivation came more and more.
Okay, so take us through the journey, because at some point you left to go study. When the Dominica Cricket Association assisted you in going to Dominica State College, but then you were still out there playing, and it was a challenge. And then you got to go to Cave Hill. Talk to us about what happened within that time, because if you were involved in active cricket and then you had to make the decision, you had to go study, what happened around this time?
So it was a situation where I was falling by the wayside a lot in terms of catching up with schoolwork. And I was speaking with the cricket authorities and letting them know this is what's happening, and I'm struggling. And then obviously they contacted who they had to contact. But I think there was many situations where the people at college were really supportive. I think I gave this story before. I was on tour, and then I came back and I had to do this exam. And while I was sitting in the exam, waiting to write it, one of the secretary came by and she was like, you need to come to the office. So I went to the office and she was like, you have to pay a fee of $300 to write the exam. But I didn't know that. I was on tour. I come back next day looking to write the exam. I don't have $300. At that time, most of my family was away. So I was living, with other people. And so I don't know what, came over the lady. She just decided, all right.
She allowed you?
Yeah. She just, because you have to enter the exam with a receipt. So she just stamped the receipt and she said, all the best in your exam, young man. I don't know if she knew cricket or she followed cricket or whatever the case is, but she just allowed me to go and do the exam,
Did you pass?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Were you able to prepare, because you said you were...
Yeah, I mean, I did what I could, while I was away in terms of preparation and stuff like that. But just come back and they're ready to write the exam. But little I know, everybody else sitting and they come and pull me from the class. Then you have to pay the fee. But
what level of cricket were you at when you had to move to Cave Hill, and did you feel like you were giving up something?
Not really. I feel like I was falling behind, to be honest, because I wasn't able to do the things that I wanted to do at the level that I wanted. I played at the under 19. I played at the under 19 World Cup before I went to Cave Hill. So I was at a decent level of cricket. Like I said, I was just starting to play more cricket. I was traveling more. So when I got to Barbados now, it was just a matter of adapting and just enjoying the facilities and really diving into it. So I felt like I was able to expand myself more while I got to Barbados.
But you could not, you were not playing anymore except for in school.
No, so at that time,
were you able to continue playing?
Yeah. So like I said, my cricketing journey actually expanded while I was in Barbados. I got to play a lot more competitive cricket, and then I started to play first class cricket while I was at UWE. So that was one of the reasons why it took me such a lengthy while to finish UWE, because a normal student would do, like someone who, when I say normal, a student who's just there to go to school, they would probably do like 5-6 courses a semester. Me on the other hand, who travels 2-3 times in the semester, running up and down in the hot sun, chasing balls, all that stuff, and then to come back at the hotel while your roommate is probably sleeping or on his phone, you have to sit down at the table and study, complete assignments, prepare and send your assignments in and stuff like that. So the advisors in the academy said, hey, do what you can manage, 2-3 courses a semester, and then you do your summer courses, because it don't make sense. I take up 5-6 courses and I pull in my hair, during the semester I'm failing. So I did what I can manage, and they say 1-1 fully bucket, and eventually I was able to complete that.
Okay, so tell us again about your years at UWE, including playing cricket at UWE. So UWE is really like a melting pot. You meet so many different people there, different cultures, you're exposed to so many different things. And the level of cricket is very, very high in Barbados. So I remember when I just got to UWE, it was a struggle to get into the first team, because they had so much players and they were very good. So like UWE was winning like all the competitions that they had. And I remember the first game that I played while in Barbados was called BCL. So BCL is like the lowest level of cricket in Barbados. So that's the guys with the big rum bellies and the black shoes. So I played that first, and then eventually, for me to get into that team, it required me to train really hard, and I really had to, the environment required me to expand myself, and I think, I was able to get into the first team eventually, and so I think currently I have the most centuries for UWE at this point in time, which is 13. Wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So you actually are in the record books. Awesome news.
I am. So there's this big wall, stone wall on the side of the field. It's called it's called a Walk of Fame. So every time you score 100 and you take 5 wickets, your name is engraved in iron, and it's drilled onto the wall.
How many times your name is there?
They couldn't put my name every single time, because they said they had to make space for us. But my name is probably up there like probably 10 or 11 times.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, because obviously they wouldn't want to put all, because there are other people who are fixed. So my name went up for 5 wicket hauls and centuries as well, So
you excel. And you captain the team?
Yes, I did captain the team. Well, not long, obviously, but it was really good. The opportunity to lead them, and so the journey from playing BCL, the big belly guys, and then working your way up into the first team. It was, like I said, it really required me to push myself and train hard to get into that team, because the environment is really tough in terms of the pool of players. So it really set the platform for my attitude towards training and performance.
And how do you think it contributed to what you're able to achieve today?
No, a lot. I think just the ability to be exposed to that level of cricket. Probably someone else would have who have not went to UWE. For example, Alec, didn't go to UWE, but he still excelled in cricket. So probably in my case, it would have probably required me to go to Barbados to play that level of cricket, and
that was your journey.
Yeah, to develop myself like that, and allow me to get onto the various teams.
And as you talk about developing yourself, we may have to go back again a bit, because you spoke of the time when you first met your dad. You were actually playing cricket, and so you need to talk to us about those gentlemen and the role they played in your life. We haven't touched that as yet.
Right. So my journey growing up is, like I said, is a lot of corners and a lot of detours. So like I said, I grew up with my mom, grandmom, sister, grandfather, and my uncle who's come and go. So when my mom married, she moved to England, and then so I was living with my grandparents, my sister. My grandparents moved to the US to spend some time with their children, and then so it was just my sister and I. We were living many hours together, and then my sister left. Yes, I think she got a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So she go.
Forget you.
So she went to Antigua for some time. So it was just me. So I lived with a fair amount of individuals. I lived with my uncle, who was our neighbor, him and his family.
So you could not stay in the house?
No, it was just me. I was still just starting high school.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
so I lived with my uncle, and I wasn't working out.
The same uncle?
Yeah.
That you teased?
No, there's a different one.
Okay.
That uncle, he was living he moved to Antigua. So there was another uncle that lived not too far from us. So I started to stay with them. That didn't work out. Actually moved in with my neighbor. His son was going to the same school as me. You know, so we toughed it out. And I was living with them. And then when I started college, I played for a club called Cavaliers Cricket Club.
Mm-hmm.
So that started.
How did you get into that club?
Right. So when I played for Dominica, the under-19, the manager of the team was Gifford Walsh, who was a member of the Cavaliers Cricket Club.
The late Gifford Walsh.
Gifford Walsh. Gosh, I missed that man. But yes. And so when he saw me play, he said, you know, which club are you playing for in town? You know, Premier Division. I was like, I'm not playing for anybody. I still living in the country. So I've never played any Premier Division cricket in Dominica yet, which is taking place in town. So I tell him I don't play for anybody. So he said, all right, when you come back to Dominica, we're going to register you for Cavaliers Club and you're going to play for us. And then that's how I got, you know, involved with that club and, you know, those groups. So you have Gifford Walsh. I lived with him and his family for some time while I was at college. And then you have Tom Laffour and his wife Jennifer Laffour. I lived with them for some period as well while I was at college. So Tom, the late Tom Laffour, who's that man as well. Right, so he was the manager for Tropical Shipping in Dominica, and his wife, Jennifer Laffour, was the permanent secretary for education. So living with these people, there's no if or buts, there's no slacking off. You know, Tom is an avid cricket lover. You know, he was in cricket administration, commentary and everything. And he used to always, you know, drill, you know, you have to take the game serious. You never know where it's gonna take you. You know, you could make a career out of cricket. But at the time I'm young, so I never really, really understood what he was saying. And you know, I think just living with all these different people, you know, different pieces of them, you know, just helped me to grow into the person that I am today, holistically. And you know, I'm really grateful for them. Yeah.
So these gentlemen you see as gentlemen who influenced your life very positively.
Yeah.
And who would have contributed as well,
yes, and
to your success.
Yes, there's also Jeff Pierre. You know, a lot of people don't know Jeff because he's a bit more low key. He has his own, you know, business and stuff. But I've lived with him and his family as well. And I call him my guardian angel because of all of them, he's still alive. And you know, he's of all his years, you know, he's been giving me advice on, you know, money management and, you know, just helping me stay focused, you know, up to this day. I have this picture like years ago, long before I started college. I think I was still at, I just finished high school and I just joined the Cavaliers Club. And I was in the stadium and I have this hat on my head and I'm just here with a cup in my hand and he's looking at me with his hands folded. And, you know, we was talking and I think we was talking about, you know, what is the next step for me? You know, what is I want to do with my life? And that was a long time, probably like 10, 15 years ago, you know? And I still have that photo in my phone. And now I have a photo of me, you know, much older, much mature, UWI graduate, playing for the West Indies, captain of North Islands. And I took a photo with him again because I'm always seeing him, I always around him. And I always compare that photo and this photo. And then I always reflect on the journey that I've had and, you know, the effect that these people have had on my life. You know, and helping me to remain focused, remain humble, keeping me on the right path and stuff like that.
You clearly understand what it means to show gratitude.
Yeah.
You speak so highly of all of these people
Yeah.
who have in one way or the other contributed to your life, contributed to your success. And I think, if Tom Lafont were alive, if Mr. Walsh were alive, what do you think they would be thinking or saying? Or if they're in heaven somewhere looking down on you, do you think there's some broad smiles and they're probably having conversations and saying, we always knew that this young man had what it took?
They would be congratulating me. I know Tom, he would be congratulating me, but he'll always keep telling me, don't get complacent, there's always more to achieve, don't let it get to my head. One thing I know that he would say is, that's it, my boy, that's it. And the thing with the Cavaliers Club, it's a group of older guys, but they love their rum and coke. They always drink the rum.
They love a good time, these gentlemen.
Yeah, but one thing, they never allowed us to drink any alcohol. They never allowed it. So if it's one thing I know that Tom would say, that's it, my boy, that's it. I need to have a rum and cookie. And Gifford, there's one thing he always used to say. Every time he see you, say, wait, he always say that. So every time I see
Regina.
Every time I see Regina is right. Every time I say, wait. And I'm sure, I don't know how she's taking obviously my memories, because that's what I was going to say. But, every time I see her is wait, so, yeah.
So you left UE, and what happened then?
Right, so from UE, I got a contract for the Windward Islands Volcanoes team. So from Barbados, I moved straight to Grenada. Yeah, I moved to Grenada with the Windward Islands Volcanoes team. During that time, it was COVID, so it was a really uncertain time. I think that created the opportunity for me in terms of international cricket, where I was able to, tour the West Indies team to Bangladesh. So I think that was really the start of, me realizing, hey, this is what it's about, and just the opportunity to be, in a setup like that. It was really eye-opening. It's one thing to sit on and watch these things on TV, but to be a part of it, in the dressing room, the meetings, the background staff, and to see, all the moving parts. It was thrilling, entertaining. It was a wake-up call. This is what it's about. So I was really grateful for that. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to help us now. As I told you, I'm no cricket expert, right? I know how to come and ask the questions, but I am no cricket expert. I watched the game. Didn't get to go see India versus West Indies. I watched on TV. But take us through what has transpired with you in terms of your engagements or being called to the West Indies team, and talk to us about the various experiences. So first it was, what was the first calling that you got?
Right, so I think I was in Grenada at that time, and so it was COVID, so every time you travel, you have to spend like 5 days in the facility.
Oh my God, that must have been hellish.
Right, but it was around Christmas time, and I came back home, and the selectors, they called me and they said, we have a tour to Bangladesh coming up, and you are one of the players who have been selected for that tour.
Okay.
So
who calls you? First and foremost.
They have a group of selectors who are in charge of that.
So they actually make the phone call?
Yeah, they call you, your phone, and they inform.
So let's say Sibo.
Right.
Look Sebastian. You get a call from Sibo.
Yeah.
Okay. Kavem Hodge, you've been selected to go to Bangladesh for whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly what happened.
Okay.
So when I got the call, I don't know. I didn't know how to, so the first person I called was Jeff.
Okay.
Right. Then I called Jeff and I told him the call that I received, and so I just sat there and just internalized it, like,
yeah.
like the job just really happened.
Yes, is that for real?
Yeah, because you're not expecting it, at the point in time.
So you were not expecting that call?
No.
It just came?
Mm-hmm. Because obviously...
Was there talk, sometimes, there's talk and murmurs in your country, people saying, it's about time that a Dominican be called to the West Indies team. What about Kavem? What about Alec? What about this one and that one?
Right, because at the time, everything was kind of settled.
Okay.
But because of COVID, a lot of things happened and individuals, were not going and stuff like that. So, that's why, right.
Okay.
So that's where the opportunity came about.
Okay.
So
were you concerned about the COVID as well? Hell no.
Not at all. What COVID? No, man, it was just really good to get the opportunity. It was traveling during that time was really different. All the protocols. I have done the COVID test about 50 times. Yeah, 50 times. I never get accustomed to it. Yeah, 50 times. I'm grateful that every single one of them came back negative over the years.
Yes.
As much as you know the techniques of how to tilt your head and skin out your nose and all that thing, you never get accustomed to it, because some different, but yeah.
So you got to go to Bangladesh, and what was it? Was it the test series? Was it the T20? What was it?
Yeah, so it was 2 tests and I think 3 ODIs, but I wasn't part of the ODI team. It was just the 2 test match series that which we won. But it was a real eye opener being in a place like Bangladesh. Obviously the conditions and
in what sense?
It's very hot. In terms of it's a lot of the air, so it's very extreme. So it's either people are very wealthy or they're very poor. So it's really extreme. So it's really eye opening. Sometimes you think you have you think you have it tough until you travel to another country and you see something that people go through. But no, with that being said, the way we were treated, it was really good. They were very welcoming. They had everybody staying in the hotel in terms of the chefs, the drivers. When you left the hotel, you had guys lined up with guns and stuff, making sure that everything, making sure that everybody's safe. Because in Bangladesh, everybody loved their cricket, so you could easily get swarmed. Everybody wants to see you or whatever the case is, so the security guards were just there to make sure that everything is okay and everything goes smoothly. So
How did you do?
Was good.
How did you do?
I didn't.
You didn't get to play? Oh.
So I was just a part of the squad.
You were part of the squad.
Yeah. So that's the situation that, I'm yet to make my test debut.
You've not made your test debut as
No, I've played ODI cricket.
Okay, you will.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You will.
Yeah, everything will happen at the right time. So.
And Dominicans must have been really not very happy about that.
I mean, hey, like I said, at that time, it just happened, so. But obviously now as time goes by, you're really preparing for that.
Of course, you better.
Right, yeah. So the biggest thing for me now is just making the most of the opportunity when it comes.
Okay. So after Bangladesh, what was the next opportunity?
So it was back to regional cricket. So you had the regional Super 50 competition and first class cricket. So I was able to get the MVP of the tournament for Super 50, and I think in 2017, we won that competition. And as the years go by, in terms of 4-day cricket, we've been able to do very well. A lot of teams, they used to think that the win was easy points, but obviously that's that was the thing before. We played win was easy points, but for the past couple of seasons, that has changed a lot. The direction that we move in as a team. Unfortunately, we wasn't able to win the last one. We came so close, but the direction that we're going as a group, it's exciting to see. So and then obviously later, came the opportunity where I got selected onto the ODI team for some of the World Cup qualifiers in Dubai to play against the UAE, and that's where I made my debut. So that in itself was also a thrilling moment. It was so exciting. But I also tried my best to stay in the moment. You're stepping out into the field, stay in the moment, just enjoy everything as is, and just make the most of it. But I really enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And how did we do in Dubai?
Yeah, we won. Yeah, we won.
How did Kavem do in Dubai?
I did satisfactory. The first game I got 30 odd. Second game 2 wickets. So it obviously you want to do the best you can.
Of course.
But that's not always the case. But I'm really I'm happy for the opportunity to have a taste at that level. And these are the things that have you yearning for more and to keep putting in the work and keep believing and keep staying hungry, so I'm just grateful for that.
What was the environment like in Dubai? We hear so much about Dubai now, though. Everybody wants to go to Dubai. I want to go to Dubai. Can somebody send me to Dubai?
It's amazing. I wish I could everybody who wants to go, I could just bring them along, but it's an amazing place. It's very rich. It's on a different. You feel like you're in a totally different place. Like you're not on Earth. Everything is just on a different level. It's very hot. I've never felt so much heat like that in my life. Like if you bake in and you open the oven to just check and that van would hit you. That's exactly how you feel. When you step up, that's how you feel. It's hot. So a lot of the games started at 4 o'clock in the afternoon because you can't play in the midday heat. It's too hot. When you come up the field, you're drenched and stuff. But it's good. The facility was amazing. The transportation, the food, the reception.
So you've had some good experiences so far.
I have.
In terms of your engagements with West Indies.
Yeah, and obviously these these engagements is part of the motivation, and the inspiration to keep you, hungry. Keep you hungry for more. Keep going and
How hungry are you, Kavem?
I'm very hungry. I think just being part of the environment and getting that little taste, it made me even more hungry than I've ever been. Because obviously, in the past, I used to question myself, if I'm doing enough, what else can I do to get to that stage. But now, you've been there and you've gotten a taste of it. Is what the inspiration that you need to just keep going. Because obviously, I always believe whatever you put out into the universe, you'll be rewarded for it. That's where the respect for the game and training and everything, comes into play.
Dominica hosted the first of the Test series versus the number 1 team in the world, West Indies versus India, and what were your expectations for that? Were you expecting to get a call for that game? We should always expect a call.
Well, yeah. We had a camp in Antigua, and before that, and I was optimistic about it. To be honest, I was training well, I was feeling well, but I guess obviously, there was always an initial plan going into a camp. You know what you're gonna use, what you're gonna have. So as time went by, you got to understand what was happening, and
you get to understand the game plan.
Right. So. When the squad was selected and I was pulled aside and informed, hey, this is the situation, then it didn't feel as bad because you kind of knew it was coming. Okay. Obviously, there's only so much changes you can make in the squad, so at one time. But like I said, just to be obviously being in the loop and knowing I'm around that setup, I think that is just a matter of time. So like I said, for me, it's just to make sure that when it do come, I make the most of it.
You and Alec Athens are good friends. How did you feel when he got selected?
I always knew there was no aha moment. We always knew that he was going to play. I think it kind of hit when it came closer for him to present. They was going to present him his cap. And he was gonna say, he said, my brother, I think I might cry. I said, you're gonna cry. You're crying for. And even the day of the match, we was at the field warming up, and he was like, it still hasn't sunk in yet. He still don't feel no way. I tell him, no worry. When you go to that bat, you will feel it. So, but yeah, we always knew he was gonna play. So, but I'm really happy for him. He's come a long way, and a lot further to go.
How did you feel about his performance?
I felt really good. I was pretty good because I was nervous as him. But it was really good to see him perform the way he did. I mean, I wasn't surprised because, we all know what he's capable of, but it was just exciting to see him, go out there and do that. We spent, at the hotels and stuff, we spent a lot of time together, we talk about these things, how we're going to approach and, when he's my brother, I'm going to light up the place and stuff like that, because that's how he speaks, so.
But you might get to have him on sometime when his schedule permits.
All the best.
I will, trust me.
But yeah, so I was really happy for that moment for him.
Okay, all right. West Indies, I mean, I don't expect you to say anything, but we really, expected better from the entire team in terms of their performance here in Dominica. We were told, we hear things like, India is the #1 team in the world.
Yeah.
If you were to analyze, and that's up to you if you choose to respond, because I know you have to be cautious. You're part of a team, you don't want to, where do you think we went wrong? What can we do better?
Oh, it's pretty difficult to just pinpoint, one thing. Obviously the conditions were pretty difficult.
What does that mean, Kavem, for those of us who don't know what that means?
Right, obviously, so in terms of the pitch, it was...
Yes, I'm hearing talk about the pitch and all of that,
Yeah, that's not to say I'm blaming the pitch.
You're making excuses.
Right, because even Alec batted so well, and even after he come in, he was like, my brother, that pitch is difficult. So, I mean, it's like I said, it's hard to pinpoint any one thing. I think it's just a matter of we trying to find solution rather than trying to pinpoint this is where we're wrong, that we're wrong. But look, I think obviously being in the dressing room, being among the team, you see the preparation.
So you were there with the team?
Yeah, I was there for the entire match.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
So being in the dressing room, being around the team. Even past test matches, you see all the preparation that goes in, the meetings, the training, the video analysis, so much. Like, people don't understand the amount of moving parts that goes into preparing for a test match. It's a lot, and obviously nobody goes out to field, everybody tries, but, sometimes, I don't know, I honestly don't know, but as players, we try. You understand? Sometimes it don't work out. I mean, we probably been hearing that for so long. We trying, but yeah. As players, you go out and you try.
Well, probably people like you need to be inserted, to see if a difference can be made. Because if Alec can perform at the level that he did, it means others can perform at that level as well to help the team to win and to do much better. I think everybody just needs to play their part, understand what their role is, and execute. And you probably need to be part of this as we move forward. So what is the next? By the way, what do you think of your Dominican people and their hospitality?
Oh, it's always great to be in Dominica. It was just a little bit disappointing that, we lost the game. That's one disappointment. But I think, a lot of individuals are looking forward to coming to the stadium, on the weekend.
Well, West Indies caused that.
Yeah, but I mean, they really felt the love. The guys always enjoy coming to Dominica. They always do, But, the hospitality is always great when you come to Dominica. Everybody enjoys coming to Dominica, So as a Dominican, you feel proud for that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, what I'll say is that, and I'm sure those who are listening, West Indies needs to do better. And, they really need to give us some good reason to be there and to continue supporting. Dominica is grateful to have Alec and yourself as well. And we're hoping that we can see more of you guys, as we move forward. Where do we go from here in terms of your schedule or what's coming up?
Well, I go to Barbados soon, so that is for the one-day version of the game.
Okay.
So there's a camp in preparation for the one-day series. So.
And that camp means what?
So they had to bring together a pool of guys for some days of training, and then they select the squad. similar to what they did in Antigua for the test.
Okay. So that's about how many people, Kavem, how many players?
Well, in Antigua it was 19.
19?
Yeah, about that.
And how many are selected?
Well,
And you said
for the
11.
test match, they selected a squad of 15.
15?
Yeah, so probably about 5 or 6 guys were not involved. So I'm not sure how many individuals are selected now for the one-day version. So
Okay.
we'll see when you get to Barbados.
Okay. So that's the next thing in line
Yes.
for you?
Yes.
Anything else towards as the year?
No, just probably Super 50 in October. That's the regional tournament. The 50 version. So that's what next after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for Kavem, the experience so far in terms of West Indies, so you've played how many international games?
3.
3 international games so far.
Yeah.
And what is the ultimate dream or well, it's already the dream has already become a reality, you know, because you're already part of the West Indies team.
Well, yeah.
But what is the goal?
I think as a player, you want to be the best you can be. You know, you want to give them all you can give. At the end of the day, you don't want to leave any stone, unturned. So when you look back, you can say, yes, I gave it my all. I gave to West Indies. All what I had to give. You don't leave anything behind. So I think that's the ultimate goal to. As however long that career might be, you just want to know that you give your all and you put your best foot forward. So I think that's the ultimate.
To the young man or young woman, they're listening to you tonight, and I'm sure they're inspired, they're encouraged, and they want to one day get to where you are and get to where you want to be, because they're still where you want to be. What do you say to them? What is the motivation that you give to them?
I would say, the most important thing is probably trying to use what you have as a stepping stone to get where you want to be. I mean, we all have dreams, whether it's sports or business, whatever it is, we all have a dream, and we have it in our mind where we want to get to. But sometimes, we might feel like we don't have the resources to get to where we want to get to. But I think it's important at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to try. I'm a firm believer in, whatever you plant, that's whatever you grow. Whatever you put out into the universe, that's what we get back. So if you put out effort, if you put out respect, if you put out discipline, you will be rewarded for that. Sometimes it might seem bleak, but that's life. You'll never go through life up and up and up. There will be this, and that's just what life is. Or you go through the different times. All the best of international cricketers have had down times. All the best of business individuals have had down times, but they were able to bounce back from that. So I think at the end of the day, motivation is important. But for me, the most important thing that stands out is discipline, because it's not every day we're gonna wake up and be motivated to do something. Sometimes I will wake up, I probably wouldn't be all that motivated, but that's where discipline comes in. You know what you have to do. You know the processes that is required for you to get to where you want to be. And that is important. So you just have respect for yourself. Know what is required. And never be afraid to ask questions. There are people out here who have done things that we are trying to do now. So there's nothing wrong with asking a question. Because even I go on Instagram and I would message, the other international players and ask them for advice, and they would reply. And they would say, thanks for reaching out to me and let me know how it goes. You don't be afraid to message and stuff like that. And not just West Indians, but guys from other international teams as well. So. Yeah, and you ask questions. That's what the internet does for you. So yeah, it's just a matter of believing in yourself and sticking to it. And just it really it takes a lot. I'm not gonna sit there and make it seem like, it's easy breezy. It's not. It's gonna take a lot. But once you know what you want in life, you just have to go for it.
The word discipline seems to be a recurring one, when you speak. And if those who are tuned in throughout the program would recall, you did mention that at the beginning, grandma, your mom, they all instilled that in you. Do you think that you are as disciplined as you should be? And what are some of the other attributes you think keep you grounded in this whole cricket environment?
I do consider myself disciplined. Probably.
Well, until they hold you for the mischief.
Well,
we know that's just fun.
That's the least. I think, in terms of probably say application and the real nitty gritty in terms of the cricket aspect and skills, there's always more. There's always more to add to your repertoire in terms of discipline and as a batsman spending time on the crease and doing things for longer periods. So in that regards, then there's always more to add to that. Apart from discipline, I think obviously as a player, there will always be times where you might feel like your the discipline is might be slipping away. But I think willingness to learn is one of another important aspect, because everything is moving so fast. You sometimes you might be reluctant to change what you already know. You're in your own bubble and you're comfortable doing this, but you might realize that things might go past you very quickly if you're not willing to change, willing to learn, willing to adapt. So I think that's very important in this day and age, especially in professional sports.
What about receiving advice? How are you with that?
Yeah, I tend to be very good with that. I consider myself a very
feedback.
Yeah, I consider myself a very coachable person. But with that being said, I think it's also important for me to understand what is it that I need to take and what is it that I need to just
allow to seep through.
Yeah, just allow it to let it be. Just let it be advice. Obviously, everybody's gonna have some kind of advice for you.
Do you have a lot of that coming at you?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just meet random people and they would have so much to say. But I think that's just their way of venting as well. Showing their concern or showing their interest in the sport and in you as a player. So sometimes all you're required to do is just listen what the person has to say. And sometimes that's all they want. But obviously, as a player, you have coaches and other senior players, who would give you advice. But at the end of the day, it's really important that you know yourself and know your way, understand your way of doing things, and take what you need to take to your advantage, and then just let the rest be. Because at the end of the day, it's all about you, how you do things. When you go out there, nobody can help you. So.
You're a batsman, right?
Yeah.
Just to establish that,
Yeah.
and you know a bit of bowling as well.
Yes.
Yes. How are you on the field? Decent?
Yeah.
You're okay on the field.
I enjoy fielding. I consider myself to be a live wire.
What areas do you think, and that's from your own review, that you think you probably need to step up a bit if you want to be selected for your first test when it comes around and the ODI that's coming up?
Look, I think at this point, there's only so much that I can do because there's no major competition coming up. I think as of now, everything seems pretty balanced for me. I'm comfortable with where I'm at. Mind you, there's always room for improvement.
Always.
But whenever I train, I always, work on all the aspects, batting, bowling, fielding. So I think I'm in a good space at this point in time. But like I said, I'm always willing to take information, always willing to learn. Whether the coaching staff has some advice, or some kind of analysis that would help you better your game, I'm always open to that. So it's just a matter of trying to just add things to your game. There's never going to be a revelation where, this is it, and that's all. There's always little things to add. So that's always what I try to do.
But the people of Dominica are rooting for you. Our two guys, Alec and Kavem. We are rooting for you guys, and we are behind you 1000%. And we just want you to go out there and do your best. And I'm sure that you do that each and every time, that you give your 100% and you do your best. And all you can do is continue to make your family proud, continue to make your country proud. You were named the sports ambassador. What does that mean? What does that entail? You don't have to use the details. You get a passport, a diplomatic passport.
Yes.
What's involved?
Yes, we did get a diplomatic passport.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And that's all he's going to tell us, guys. It compares. But congratulations on that, to both of you. And make the most of it. Let your traveling be much easier.
Yeah.
And what do you do? Did I just say that happened, right? Anyway, Kavem, that's the first time that happened.
Alec is on the line, so take a seat.
He'll get his turn to come. I hope he will, whenever he's available, that he will let me know when he can be here in the Spotlight Radio Show. He should not be nervous. Kavem is doing quite fine. Absolutely nothing to worry about. What do you enjoy in your spare time, Kavem?
I love to go to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love to go
Is
to
it
the beach.
because back in the day your mom brought you there often and some of your cricketing days were from the beach?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time on the beach growing up. We live close to the beach. So if I stayed home, I could just peep or listen and I could tell if someone's on the beach. So I spend a lot of time on the beach. I love to go to the movies. I love to watch movies. And reading. I enjoy reading. A lot of books on mental, grit. Anything that is interesting, I would read. And I think that really came about during the COVID time. So I think we had like a 6 month break because of COVID from cricket. So during that 6 month, I read like 5 books.
Where were you here?
Yeah, I was in
Okay.
America. I read like 5 books. So I think from there, it just escalated and I just kept on reading. And also nature, I love to spend.
Reading is fascinating.
It is. I also just love to spend time with nature. So anywhere, that have a quiet spot with trees, you'll find me there. I enjoy that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about Kavem and family?
Mm-hmm.
Is that something in the future for you? Family, children, marriage, is that something that you would like to?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, growing up as a young person, you've seen the kind of environment and what a family can do for somebody. Obviously, I would want to follow in different footsteps as.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, obviously, as a young person growing up, that's always something that you aspire to do. Because, like I said, you've seen what it has done for you. So you've always wanted to do that for someone.
Kavem, it's 10 o'clock. Do you realize you spoke for close to 2 hours?
I did not.
You did not expect that, did you?
No.
All right, and you did. So, Alec, don't be nervous. Don't worry about the 2 hours. It goes by very quickly. Especially if you pretend like you're at a bar. I mean, we don't have any hard drinks. We have water. But you're sitting at a bar. You're just having a conversation with your friends.
Yeah. So if that's the thing. If you end up getting Alec and I at the bar, I will have an LLB.
Right.
And he will have a malt.
He'll have a malt.
And that's the most he'll get from us. Yeah.
This is good. No drinking. This is good. A malt. So guys, remember that anytime you see Alec or Kavem anywhere and you want to offer them a drink, just know one is an LLB, the other is a malt. All right. I don't know what type of malt, but hey, a malt. You have a malt, right? Kavem, it was such a pleasure to have you. on the program tonight. I'm really happy that my audience and Dominicans and wherever the program is being listened to or viewed, or wherever persons will get a chance to view it in the future, that we've gotten to know you so much better. And I already encountered you, well, just a couple of weeks ago, and I found you to be a very warm young man, very personable, infectious personality, and of course the smile. And everybody at the office, in fact, just warmed up to you pretty nicely. People want to take photos, hugged you up and all of that. And I think the personality, your personality, is one that can cause people to be drawn to you, and I hope that you don't change that. I hope you continue to remain humble, and that you always remember where you came from, and that seems to be important to you. I'm going to give you the opportunity to share some final comments with us. If there was anything that you probably wanted to share, you didn't get to share, I didn't ask you about, feel free to share, and let's get ready to take it out.
Nothing really. I just want to thank everybody for hopping onto the live. I'm sure there's a lot of things that everybody could have been doing other than being here, but just to take the time out to hop on board. To get to know me better. Like I said at the beginning, it's one thing to see me walking around in the streets or on the field, but it's another thing to get the inside scoop of my life, So I'm happy to share that with with everybody. It's always a pleasure, So
yes.
I just want to thank everybody for hopping on.
And we appreciate you too for being open with us about sensitive areas of your life.
Right.
But you were still willing to share with us, and we appreciate that. People say that I get people to say things they don't really want to say on this program, so I know that wasn't the case. I know, right? People say that. But we really appreciate you sharing with us. And I'm sure there are others who could relate to your story.
Right. And
there are others who could learn from your story. Maybe there's a father out there who probably decided after listening to you tonight, I need to reach out to my child. I need to, who's probably at that stage where it's still enough time to save the relationship, to reach out to that child or reach out to that family member. So I think you inspired us tonight, and I think you impacted us in a very positive way, and we just want to say thank you. All right, and thank you for being here. We really, really wish you well, and we hope that you get the call from the selector for the ODI coming up. And we just want to hear about you. And I know it wasn't Alec here in the chair tonight, but Alec as well. We're really proud of you as well as a Dominican who is out there doing fantastic things. We appreciate both of you, and we look forward to hearing greater things in the near future. Folks, that's a wrap on the In the Spotlight radio show for tonight. Again, we thank Kavem Hodge for being our guest on the program and for being such an amazing, open guest with us. We thank you. By the way, we got our dinner, so you have dinner tonight when you get home. We're going to give you fish. You're an athlete, you need fish. Thank you, great old house. Thank you, Steve and your team. It was already after 9, and they still, ensured that we got something after the show. That is it until next week, Monday. Who do we have? I think we should be having Mr. Ken Robinson next week, Monday, on the In the Spotlight radio show. We're going to talk about Robinson's Bread, Robinson's Grocery, and his production studio. And, this is another man who has made a really great contribution to Dominica. Good night, folks. Say good night, Kavem, and bye. Okay, until next week. God bless everyone, and thank you for tuning in.